one, of course, first service game here. Just how little off-court training Monica does do. It's not very much. She does most of it on court.
30 all.
30 all.
Conchita Martinez, still a teenager, 5'7", Monzon, Spain, and living now in Barcelona, which is where all the fine players from Spain end up going because they get competition there at City. Game point, Seles. By the way, she won 3 tournaments last year, Conchita Martinez, and one of them was in Barcelona.
All of them were on clay, her favorite surface.
Wait, please. Thank you.
Conchita Martinez has actually won a hard-court tournament in the desert. That was in Scottsdale, Arizona, 2 years ago. Arizona Classic. But as you said, in the main, her success has been on clay. First game to the #1 player in the world, Monica Seles. We'll be back with more live coverage after this. On carpet, they've played 3 matches on clay and 3 on carpet. This is Conchita Martinez serving. Second game, she's trailing 1 game to love. Two years ago at the Lipton, Conchita Martinez lost to Judith Wiesner in the semi-final. But she beat Gabriela Sabatini during that event. And she beat Judith Wiesner here to get to the final.
30 love.
She actually has a good game, I think, for a faster court, for a hard court. She's got a good first serve. She can set the point up early with that hard first serve. She's got a good forehand. She'll need to get a lot of first serves in here today to be able to try to use her forehand as a weapon.
Oh, called wide. I would have called it good myself, but I'm not making the line calls. Game point, Martinez. No lack of power in that forehand, and this match is even. 1 game more for a set.
I'm really pleased to see her swinging away off the forehand as she moves into it, takes it early on the rise, giving Seles less time. She had said yesterday that she was going to, in her press conference, that she was going to try to loop the ball a lot, and I asked her about that, and she said, well, she likes to hit a lot of topspin on her forehand, although she can hit it very hard, and she was going to try to really vary the pace and the depth, and I think that's a really important thing to do against Seles. You've got to really move the ball around a lot and bring Seles forward if possible.
Oh, yeah.
Where she hits the ball harder
15 love.
more often than anyone that I've ever watched play tennis. And she takes it so early. Watch how early, and watch the angle she gets on this forehand of hers. She hits a backhand. She's left-handed. She hits two hands from both sides. And
do know that it was less than a year ago that Monica Seles became the #1 player in the world, and she has won over $4.5 million, 312 this year. Of course, you win the Australian, that helps. You're currently ranked #1, but seems like she's been around for a lot longer than that, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, she's got so many records and things already at such a young age. She was the youngest person ever to be #1 in the world.
Monica is from Yugoslavia, and of course that country has been wrecked by civil war lately. She is neither Serb nor Croatian, so of origin she's an ethnic Hungarian. And she leads this match by 2 games to 1. We're on serve in the first set, best of 3 sets here at Indian Wells. Monica Seles leading 2 games to 1, taking on Conchita Martinez, 19-year-old from Spain.
Big serve, and it's ace #1.
15 love.
In fact, Spain beat the U.S. in the final of the Federation Cup last year.
That's right, first ever win for Spain.
Conchita Martinez played for Spain, of course. So did Arantxa Sanchez Vicario.
Good tactics from Martinez as she's really varying the length and hitting heavy deep balls and then drawing the ball short somewhere between the net and the service line. And that's an area where Monica is not all that comfortable. Sometimes forced to drop one of the hands off a racket and has to play one-handed shots. She has the best return of serve in the game. She just sets the point up so early. She's on the offense. As soon as she hits a return, she takes it so early, and she just hits it so hard with precision.
Let's see, if I gave you a computer and said you can design a player that will be able to beat Monica Seles, what would you give her?
I think the type of player that has success against Seles is someone who's able to serve big and volley. You have to be able to attack. You have to come into the net. You've got to put pressure on her. She has lost to Jennifer Capriati, and Jennifer almost beat her this year at the U.S. Open. And Jennifer's not known for a serve and volleyer, but she can also almost match pace for pace Seles off the baseline. Sabatini, of course, has a win over Seles, and she does attack more. That's the tactic she uses when she beats Monica, is to try to open the court up and move in. Watching this backhand, it's hard to believe that at one point Martinez had a two-handed backhand and decided years ago that it was better to use a one-handed, and look at this kind of a topspin backhand. It's so natural. She's just very athletic. She slices well. She can hit a good topspin off the backhand side.
Pete Sampras, Stefan Edberg also both started out with 2 hands and then gave it up. Even here in the first set, 2 games all. Love 15. Perfect conditions for playing. No wind at all. In fact, the sun is behind clouds. A dry heat here in the desert.
It's actually been very hot here. The sun has been out with a lot of intensity the last few days, and this is a much nicer day to play a match, and the girls have really been not complaining. No one's complaining of the sun. It's 78 degrees, and it's actually much cooler today than it has been the previous 3 or 4 days.
15 all. Do you remember how Bjorn Borg used to beat Jimmy Connors? And there's a little bit of the Jimmy Connors kind of flat ground strokes in Seles. He just used to stalk the baseline and get a lot of balls back, but he was so quick and so fast, could run everything down, that I wonder if somebody could make an impression on Seles back then. Certainly nobody has yet.
No, I think that's possible. Leila Meshki at the Australian Open, for example, is one of the only players to have taken a set off Seles this year. And she has the ability to run a lot of balls down and cut the angle down.
Game point. Well played. Still game point. Seles, it's 40-30 now.
We talked about Conchita being a good athlete. She moves very effortlessly and very, very well on tennis courts. A great get even to get to this one. She moves in behind it. She's not that comfortable moving in at all. It's one of the things I think she really needs to add to her game.
So Monica Seles holds on. There have not been any breaks of serve yet in this match. 3-2 in the first set. Best of 3. Final match. Point leader following the Virginia Slims Championship, being crowned the world champion for the year. And this is one of the stops on the Craft Tour. There are 60 Craft Tour tournaments worldwide. Monica Seles leads the point standings for this year after her Australian Open win, of course. Gabriela Sabatini so far off to a good start. Mary Jo Fernandez did well down in Australia. Sanchez Vicario, Martina Navratilova winning in Chicago just a week ago. Zina Garrison, Jana Novotna, Amy Fraser, who played well here, to Anka Huber, who had to pull out, and Helena Sukova rounding out the top 10. $15 all.
This is the shot Monica just hit is her good side. It's the backhand side. She just takes the ball so early. She's capable of hitting it both very hard up the line over the highest part of the net, And she's capable of getting a lot of angle cross-court.
Tough to pick, too, isn't it?
Very tough to pick. And it's tough to come in against because she actually likes the target. And you've got to pick your shot well.
The most astounding fact on Monica Seles to me is that she's only lost 23 matches in her career against 13 players. Only 4 players have beaten her twice. Only 4.
and Chris Evert's one of them. And it's just an incredible record.
Gabriela Sabatini, Steffi Graf, and Martina Navratilova also.
30 all.
All. Two, 3 first set. Oh, big serve. Second ace.
40-30.
Well, certainly Conchita knew coming into this match she was going to have to serve well, and she has served well. A couple aces. She's getting a lot of pace on the first serve. Good direction. Good start to this match. She knew she needed to get a good start, not let Monica get an early lead.
3 all.
Confidence plays such an important part.
It's a very compact motion on the serve, doesn't she? Not much can go wrong with it.
A very quick motion.
Yeah.
Not a high toss.
I kind of like that.
I think it's good. I'd like to see her begin to move in and attack more too.
Three straight singles matches. She's going for 24. She lost a set at the Australian Open.
She hasn't lost too many games here this week. She only lost 26 points yesterday in her semifinal against Katerina Mileva. Only 6 in the second set.
Leila Meshki, we mentioned that Leila Meshki had won a set from her at the Australian. That's the only set she's lost in all of those matches, and it's an extraordinary record.
Yesterday, after Katerina played, she said she actually played very well, and there used to be a time when Monica would make errors, maybe trying to go for too much, and now she doesn't even make many errors.
Ooh. Wow.
30-15.
30-15. At 3 games all first set. Monica Seles has had an easy week here. She beat Elna Reinach of South Africa, then Tammy Whitlinger, Gigi Fernandez, Katerina Mileva. Very, very easily, as you can see. Look at those scores. And the last tournament that she won, just let me read you her scores. 2-2, 3-2, 11-1 against Mary Pierce, and 0-3 against Mary Jo Fernandez. That was in Essen, Germany.
Seles.
Game to Monica Seles. She leads this match by 4-3. No breaks of serve yet. Conchita Martinez is at least making herself known to Seles. We'll be back.
Conchita Martinez is also going to play next week in Boca, and we'll have to move pretty quickly after this match to get there in time.
Two-handed volley winner.
Love 15.
And Monica, we talk about her fitness, but I tell you, she gets to everything and she moves quickly. She's efficient with her movement. She moves forward and gets incredible angle. This one, she's moving backwards for her volley. She doesn't like to volley, but
Problem with her, even if she gets tired, you know, we've been talking about, doesn't seem to affect the game much.
Sure doesn't.
Big forehand from Conchita Martinez.
She's really taking the ball early. I really like seeing that.
15-0.
Beat Stephanie Rahe in the second round. She got a bye, being a seeded player in the first round. Then Nicole Provis of Australia. Judith Wiesner, 6-3, 6-1. Remember, Wiesner had beaten her at the Lipton 2 years ago. And then Ann Grossman in the semifinals. Look out. And Grossman, by the way, beat Amy Frazier, who beat Pam Shriver in this championship.
And the only, Grossman, the only unseeded quarterfinalist, and made it to the semis. Of course, lost, but great job from Ann Grossman.
That's the third ace.
30-all.
30-all.
Efficient movement, very short backswing and a short toss, and hits the ball quickly. Gets a lot of pace on it.
That's wide. Game point, Martinez. Good hustle from Martinez just to keep herself in that point.
40-30.
Really moving the ball around well. She's hitting some short ones to bring Monica in, forcing her to play these swinging volleys, low percentage shots, even though she'll be able to hit winners. Game point.
Finalist will take home $28,000. The winner, $70,000 today. At the mercy of the passing shot artist, Monica Seles. Gee, what a well-played point. Really by both players.
Very well played point. Conchita almost was forced to come in. She's not quite sure which way to go here. Monica just tags the passing shots so well. See how she moves in and takes the ball on the rise with a lot of pace. It is really hard to imagine how players can beat her, because she does hit the ball so hard with such accuracy. Very few, if anybody, can beat her at her own game.
Passing shot by Martinez, and she has gained point.
Advantage Martinez.
Big looping topspin forehand. She gets a lot of rhythm on that forehand. She has strong wrist, a lot of control. Game point again.
I told you about the scores of Monica Seles in these last 2 tournaments that she's played. So if Martinez wins this point, she will be the only player in the last 2 tournaments to have won 4 games in a set against Seles. See, Betsy, I think you were right. I think you've either got to match her in power from the baseline, and as you said, Jennifer Capriati just came this close to doing it at the US Open last year. But I think you have to be a big serve and volley player to make an impression on her, and I mean a very big serve and volley player, because as you said, she likes to have the target to pass.
And Martina Navratilova's had success doing that. She's got a couple of wins over Monica and playing just that way. She doesn't hang around the baseline for too long, about 2 or 3 shots, and she's in.
In fact, she beat her here last year, just 1 year ago, in the final here when the doubles tournament was cancelled because it had so much rain, believe it or not, in the desert.
Last year they played at a different facility. This place, however, is absolutely gorgeous. This court surface is different, though. It's a very slow hard court. It's rough, and the ball sticks a bit, and it's tough to get the ball away. So a serve and volleyer has a harder time on this slow of a hard court. But it works to Conchita's benefit because she likes a slower court.
Men's event is starting tomorrow here. They're playing with a heavy ball as well to try to slow the conditions down somewhat. The women are using a championship ball here today.
Seles leads 5-3.
There's the break, and Monica Seles leads it now 5-3.
And she just takes the ball so early. And Cliff, we've been talking about how easily she wins some of these matches. And when she was asked if she ever feels sorry for her opponents having beaten them so badly, she says, "Well, no, I lost 6-love, 6-1, 6-love, 6-1 once to Steffi Graf at Wimbledon, and she didn't feel sorry for me, so I'm not going to feel sorry for them." And she doesn't forget things like that. No. She remembers when she lost to Linda Ferrando at the US Open in the 3rd round. When she lost her concentration for a few minutes, and the next thing, Linda Ferrando has a win over her, and she says that when she's winning 6-love, 5-love, she doesn't want to let up for a minute, because if she gives someone a slight chance, they may take advantage of it. The next thing, she'll have a loss that she doesn't want to have.
15-love, 5-3 first set.
Again, moving around, trying to hit the forehand. That's the shot she likes. That's her weapon. See a big Western grip. She gets an awful lot of topspin. Very effective on slower courts.
30-15.
She actually has the ability to flatten it out and hit it very hard. But when she plays on a slower surface, she'll loop it a little bit higher over the net. We don't talk much about the serve of Seles, and she actually can hit her first serve very hard. She's been clocked up in the hundreds. Her second serve is still a slight weakness, can be taken advantage of.
Set point.
Just to look at the action of the Seles serve. Good knee bend. Stretches up, gets good extension, good wrist action. Gets a lot of pace on the first serve.
For the first set. Seles 1 point away. So Monica Seles has won the first set. Not that easy a set, though. Conchita Martinez played well. 6 games to 3, Seles leads it. We'll be back with more. This is the Matrix Evert Cup from the desert, Indian Wells, California. Monica Seles, number 1 seed here over Martinez. She won the first set 6-3. From Kyalami, South Africa, Ayrton Senna and Nigel Mansell will both be battling it out. This is a revised Kyalami course. It's between Johannesburg and Pretoria in South Africa. Mansell actually is the defending champion, and he has a good shot at winning again. Be racing a Williams Renault this year. That's tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on ESPN, so I hope you'll join us for that. So Conchita Martinez ready to serve first game of the second set.
Quiet, please.
Cliff Drysdale with Betsy Nagelson. First set, Seles 6 games to 3. 1 break.
Conchita serving with new balls. And she's been serving well. She's gotten a lot of first serves in with a lot of pace. Able to start the points off in an offensive position.
In all, 7th time that they have played these two. They have never played in a final before, and they've also never played on a hard court before. Seles has never lost to Martinez.
They had one pretty good set actually this past year at the French Open, which is Conchita's favorite, not only favorite surface but favorite tournament, the French Open, and she played a good 7-5 second set. The only double fault from Conchita today. She's served 2 aces.
An interesting ball toss that we were talking about before, doesn't she? It's kind of an abbreviated swing.
And Gave her one less ace than she deserved. She served 3.
Okay.
She certainly has all the shots to be able to move in behind it. A lot like Sabatini. And Sabatini really made the efforts to attack and move forward, and wasn't easy. Good wrong footing forehand from Conchita here, catching Monica going the wrong way.
Break point, first game, second set. Conchita Martinez's mother is also named Conchita. Her father is Cecilio. He's a retired accountant. She has 2 brothers.
Both of who play tennis. The family lives in Spain.
Top of the stadium.
Barcelona.
The cameras, could you stand still, please?
Not as many first serves going in, and facing a break point on a second serve here.
So there's the break, first break of the second set, and it goes, of course, to Monica Seles, #1 player in the world. She won the first set, leaves it 1-0 in the second. Serve, as we said, leading 1-0 in the second.
Just a little less aggressiveness from Conchita. Serving percentage went down. And that was the thing that was keeping her in the first set. She has a lot of good first serves.
Love. 60, more than 60 golf courses in this Coachella Valley. In fact, here in Indian Wells, they say there is an acre of golf per resident.
How much golf have you been playing, Cliff?
Just 18 holes so far. So Conchita Martinez starting that first set looked like she was going to draw level at 4 games all. Had a point, in fact, to get to 4 all. Since then, it's been all Seles.
It really has been. She moved the ball around really well in the first set. She was varying the length a lot and the height over the net, the pace.
Conchita Martinez was hesitating on a call before the one that eventually was called out. 30 all. Story of the match so far, as you can see, 1-1 in break chances, on break chances for Seles. No break opportunities for Martinez. Seles broken the only chance that she had. Unforced errors, 18 against 11. Unhappy about that long forehand, and we're back to deuce. That was a break point opportunity for Conchita Martinez. She's a break down, 1 game to love, and a set down. Another break point for Martinez.
Advantage, Martinez.
She did not have any break points in the first set. This is her second here in the second set. Seles has had 2 and has broken twice. Back to deuce. And now game point for Seles.
Just not deep enough from Conchita. She's trying to slow the pace down a little bit. You can just see how Monica's all over anything short. She takes it on the rise, throws herself into it, and a lot of pace.
There it is. So finally, after a couple of break points, Monica Seles holds on, and she has won the first set and has a 2-game-to-love lead now in the second. Hi, everybody. Cliff Drysdale, Betsy Nagelson, and, of course, Chris Evert, who, as you know by now, has put her name to this tournament. Chris, why did you do that? I know you've been involved.
I didn't put it to this tournament. It wasn't my choice. I was very flattered, though. Actually, Charlie Passerelle, who is the tournament director, and Barbara Perry came to me and said, how would you like to have, the tournament Indian Wells named after you? And I said, well, first of all, my thought was, am I that old that I have a tournament named? But I was very, very flattered, and it's a real honor.
Chris, you were also involved in a charity deal earlier this week, I know. You want to tell us about that?
Well, what we did was we played a couple pro celebrity matches, and we had a cocktail party, and we raised $25,000 for the Barbara Sinatra Children's Hospital. So that's basically for abused children.
Well, thanks a lot for agreeing to come and spend some time with us. You'll be with us for a couple of games here. Appreciate it. And we're going to ask you a few questions about what you are doing and this great sport as well. Seles and Martinez. First of all, nothing unusual, I suppose, about this match so far, Chris.
No, there really isn't anything unusual. I mean, it's going... Monica's played so well this week. She's just gone through everybody so easily. I mean, actually, Conchita's the first one that's giving her any sort of match.
2 games to love, second set. Martinez serving, love 30.
Conchita's serve has let her down some. That was her 3rd double fault. She's not getting the first serve in with the same pace she was earlier in the first set. Chris, you are one of only 4 people who have ever beaten Monica twice. In fact, the last time you guys played, you killed her. 6-love, 6-2, I think, at the U.S. Open. It was your last Open and Monica's first.
That's why I had to retire after that big match. I knew I was never going to beat her again.
Chris, any chance that you'll come back now? I mean, let's say Martina, your good friend, called you and said, would you play, say, team tennis or something like that? Is that a possibility, or are you through?
Well, I haven't closed the door 100%. I mean, I think that if I hadn't had a child, I think the door would be open a lot more, let's put it that way, because I still enjoy playing. But it's demanding when you have a child.
And Alex is with you here this week, isn't he?
Alex is with me here, with Andy and Alex are here. Yeah.
Well, we're going to come back to watch some more of this, but it has become a rout. 3 games to love in the second, and Monica Seles won the first 6-3. Conchita Martinez of Spain, 6-3 first set. Seles, 3 games to love in the second. This is Seles to serve. She has 2 breaks of serve in the second set. There was only 1 break of serve, obviously, against Martinez in the first.
Up at the top of the stadium, walking along with the camera. Could you stand still, please? Thank you.
Chris, did you imagine when you saw Seles in the early days, and I watched her play you on TV actually when she beat you in Houston that time, that she would be this dominant a player?
15 love.
Well, I knew that she would be as good as she is eventually, but I didn't know, you know, with the way Steffi Graf was playing. At that time, Steffi was very dominant, and Jennifer was coming up, and Gabby was coming up. I mean, I really thought there would be a little more evenness at the top. I thought they'd be sharing titles.
30 love.
Do you think this is going to continue, or do you think that she's going to be able to, I mean, do you think that Steffi's going to be able to come back and really make an effort?
Well, unless any other player gets it together. You know, I think Monica has it together better than anyone mentally and emotionally at this point, and the other players are struggling in that area.
And Martina's really not getting any younger. She's got the type of game that can and has beaten Monica.
I would still put my money on Martina at Wimbledon against Monica.
Monica is going to play Wimbledon this year. She as everyone knows, missed it last year. There was a lot of controversy around that, but she will be there this year.
Well, Chris will be playing, in a way, Wimbledon again. You'll be doing the NBC coverage, won't you, Chris?
Yes, I will be.
The French as well?
The French, the Olympics.
36% first serve, as you can see, all behind the second serve, so that's the problem for Martinez.
It's not only the serving deficiency of Conchita, it's also the return of Monica is just so good. We've talked about Monica's training, you know, sort of off the court and everything, and she doesn't do a lot, but she gets to everything. She never looks a step slow.
She really anticipates very well. But her angles are unbelievable. I mean, the best in the game.
She can get an angle from anywhere on the court, seemingly impossible ones, and with pace, too. That's the thing that's incredible.
She's got really good wrist action on those shots.
Bird there. Not about 3 steps from Monica right now. Trying to get rid of it before they want to start the next point.
Conchita is here with her coach. She had a coaching change only about 5 months ago.
Now, in that shot, she was there before Conchita hit the ball. She knew where it was going.
I think Conchita knows she has to do something different, and I think the last resort is for her to try to move in.
Chris, do you think that Steffi Graf has let things get away from her, or can she make a comeback and become #1 again?
She can make a comeback. I mean, there have been so many players. Look at, you know, Martina. I mean, there have been other players that have been 2 or 3, ranked 2 or 3, and then have come back. There's no reason why Steffi, physically, she's got the game. She's got a wonderful body for tennis, and I think mentally she just needs to get it back. Play a lot of matches, get her confidence going again.
30-15, Martinez down 4-love, second set, and she lost the first.
You know, confidence is the name of the game right now, and Monica has to be feeling so confident. Steffi's lost it. Jennifer, I think, has lost a little confidence, and that's the mental side of the game is really important.
That's what we keep talking about with Monica. She has the ability to sort of do her life off tennis, and then when she gets on the tennis court, she can become so single-minded and so a lot like you, Chris. I mean, in my opinion, she's the only one who's come close to matching you mentally.
Game point, second serve.
And she does have a life outside of tennis. You know, she's a very well-rounded person.
That's why it's a game point for Conchita Martinez. Monica Seles has said in the past that when she was a kid, she thought that there were only two players who played women's tennis, Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova, because that's all she ever saw at home in Yugoslavia on TV. Things have changed now, Chris, and you must, I guess, feel good for women's tennis's future.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it looks very healthy, you know, and you don't only have one or two top players that can draw crowds. You have 5 or 6.
Right.
So I think the depth is there, which helps us a lot.
Double fault, and we are back at deuce.
That's the fourth one Conchita served. And just talking about the depth in women's tennis, not this past year, of course, because Monica won all the Grand Slams that she did play, and Steffi won Wimbledon. But the year before that, each Grand Slam tournament was won by a different player, and I thought that said a lot for women's tennis.
That was a great year. It would be nice for some of the players to challenge Monica. I think that makes for more interesting tennis, more interesting rivalries.
What are the chances, as you see breakpoint here for 5 games to love, that Monica Seles will win a Grand Slam?
I would be surprised if this year she won a Grand Slam, for the simple reason, you know, I don't think she will play as well on grass as these other surfaces. I think grass, you know, the bad bounces, one day the grass is wet, the next day it's dry. It's too unpredictable. I think Monica likes to have a predictable surface.
A predictable bounce, especially.
Right. I still think you get someone like a Martina or a Yana Novotná who can really serve and volley well, will give her problems.
And I also think she really does not believe yet that she can win at Wimbledon. And she believes that she can win everything else she plays.
Deuce. You are watching her trying to win her 24th straight tournament. She's playing in her 21st straight final. Taking on Conchita Martinez, the number 8 player in the world from Spain. This is game point Martinez. She hasn't won a game yet in the second set. She's down 4-love, and she lost the first 6-3. Oh, had the open court for the volley, but missed it.
Smart, too, the approach she played to keep it short, even though she went cross-court, opened up the court a little bit, but she was there for the volley and just took her eye off it.
Well, you know, I played on this court earlier, and the ball really dies, the short balls. I'm surprised the players aren't hitting that shot more to Monica. They're trying to hit so deep, but just, you know, give her some junk. Give her some slice shots, and the ball will die.
I think that's a good play on any surface against Monica because she likes the ball up and down the court, but doesn't really like it short and low.
Well, you want to really jerk her around that, you know, the net and get her up at the net, and because she doesn't feel confident.
Game point.
The longest
Martinez.
game of this match.
Advantage Martinez.
She needs a good first serve here.
Conchita Martinez is on the board. She trails 4-1 now in the second set. She lost the first 6-3. She's playing the #1 player in the world, the final here of the Matrix Evert Cup. Now let's go to a game that was played yesterday. Pam Shriver and Bjorn Borg against Rod Laver and Chris Evert, who is now with us in the booth. This again played yesterday. There is Chris.
Talk about your stuff out here, Chris. Good pickup.
That is the best rally. Yeah, that was. I'm glad they picked that shot to show.
Is that something to play with Rod Laver or what?
You know, what a thrill. Rod Laver and Bjorn Borg on the same court.
How about Borg? It's nice to see him here, but he's having his troubles on the court, isn't he?
You know, I don't think by watching him play doubles that really determines anything, because he never was a great doubles player anyway. It's a completely different game. So I like to watch him play a couple singles matches before I make any judgments.
Well, Chris, thanks a lot for joining us here. This tournament named after you along with Matrix. It's the Matrix Evert Cup. Thanks a lot, and we will see you later.
Thank you.
Okay. This is Monica Seles, the #1 player in the world, and she's trying to go for yet another title. It seems that she has not lost a match in so long. In fact, it has been 24 matches. She's taken on Conchita Martinez of Spain, and this is Seles serving at 4-1. She won the first set 6-3. Delay in the action while some of the folks in the stand take their seats. Now the players are ready. Oh! Another clean winner for Monica Seles. Extraordinary shot. 32 errors from Conchita Martinez, 22 from Monica Seles, balanced by 18 winners though, and Martinez has 13 winners. Big Monday triple header tomorrow night here on ESPN. First, Georgetown takes on St. John's, and Oklahoma State against Kansas, and to top it all off, Fresno State battles New Mexico. Live, all starting at 7:30 Eastern Time here on ESPN. Thirty loves Seles. So Conchita Martinez has run into a buzzsaw after that first set. She started out very well, hitting the forehand especially well, serving well as well, but since 3-4 trailing, and when she was serving in the first set, it has been all Monica Seles. 40-15. Martinez, in fact, has only been able to win one game since then. There is the topspin backhand down the line. Terrific shot because Seles was at the baseline. Not able to slack it down. Seles, for a moment, wondering if she could get a call on the baseline, to no avail. Still game point for Seles. Seles has lost only 8 games going into this final match today. She has won that game. She has lost only 4 games today. So this is Conchita Martinez of Spain, the number 3 seed, serving to Monica Seles, trailing 1-5 and by 1 set. There's Carol Seles, Carol and Esther Seles in the middle of your screen. That's Monica's parents. Unbeatable at this stage in her career, isn't she? Betsy Nagelson, by the way, has gone down with Chris Evert to do a winner's interview when this is over, so she, for the moment, has left the booth. Love 15. Martina Navratilova holds the record in the Open era of most consecutive final appearances at 23. But Monica Seles has now done that. This is her 21st. So she'll match that record if she gets the next 2 finals that she plays in. And who's going to stop her? Graf also in the years around 1987, so from 86 to 88, she did the same thing, got to 21 consecutive finals. Made it look easy, didn't she? Monica Seles, from Yugoslavia, now living in the USA, has easily beaten Conchita Martinez of Spain. 6-3. 1 breaker serve in the first set. In the second set, Martinez was only able to get 1 game. So 6-3 and 6-1, $70,000. Richer is Monica Seles. We'll be back with an interview with Monica and more coverage of this Matrix Evert Cup from the desert of California in Indian Wells in the Coachella Valley. $70,000, and she also will gather 300 points on the craft tour. So she will add that to what is already a pretty substantial bank account. In fact, if you said that she makes more money than any other tennis player, man or women, on tour, and she is now at courtside with Betsy Nagelson. Betsy?
Monica, well done. Martina pulled out of this event. That must have made this road a little bit easier for you.
Definitely, but I just didn't want to get too confident, you know, because it's different when you hear somebody pull out, like the same thing during the Australian Open when Steffi pulled out, and it's, you know, all the pressure is now on you, and everybody expects you to win every match, and sometimes the pressure can get to me, so I just told myself just take each match at a time, you know, and the only road that would be easier would be in the finals, if it, you know, but I think Conchita's playing really well, so, you know, she's a tough player.
But obviously you expect to win yourself.
Well, I knew, but, you know, I know that Conchita is going to play very well on this surface, and she had nothing to lose, so I knew I'm going to have a tough match. And she really started playing pretty well, so I had to play some great points today, and, you know, it's good.
Well, you lost 5 games in your last 3 matches. I mean, how do you keep yourself from really becoming complacent and not sort of drifting?
Well, I mean, the last 2 matches before this one, I won pretty easily. The score, at least, shows it was easy, but I don't think it was easy, you know, during the matches with a lot of juices. And I just take each point by point. I don't look at a game or a match, and that's how I just try to stay focused.
Monica, I mean, if you had to pick your chief rival, the person you would least like to play on this type of surface, who would it be?
Well, this is a very slow surface. I am not so happy. I don't like it that much either, but, you know, Martina, Steffi, Gabby, Jennifer, so, yeah, all the 4.
Well, Monica, well played.
Thanks.
Back to you, Cliff.
Thanks very much, Betsy. So Monica Seles has won this thing pretty easily, hasn't he? Hasn't she, rather? 6-3, 6-1 over Conchita Martinez. And she is, as we said, $70,000 richer, and she has won another one of so many tournaments. Now let's go down to courtside for the closing ceremonies, rather. Charlie Passerell.
Welcome. At this time, I'd like to first introduce my partner and the director of tennis here at the Hyatt Grand Champions, Mr. Ray Moore. And now to make a special presentation, I'd like to introduce my tournament co-chairman, vice president of IMG, Barbara Perry.
Thank you, Charlie. And on behalf of International Management Group, I'd like to thank the sponsors of this tournament, the Los Angeles Times, Kraft, Crystal Light, Alesse, and our title sponsor, Matrix Essentials. I'd also like to thank Charlie Passerell and his staff and the Hyatt Grand Champions. And finally, I'd like to thank the great tennis champion who has lent her name to this tournament. She has won 18 Grand Slam singles titles and 157 pro tournaments. But if you ask her, she'll probably tell you that her greatest achievement is her 4-month-old son, Alex. Please welcome Chris Evert. Chris, Charlie Passerell and I have a special memento for you in honor of your first tournament named after you, and we'd like to present you with this Baccarat trophy, which is the first Evert Cup.
Thank you, Barbara and Charlie. I'd just like to say that it really is an honor for me to have my name on this tournament. I can't think of a better place to have a tournament at the Grand Champions, probably the most beautiful venue in the whole country, and believe me, I've been around. I sat up there and watched Monica and Conchita and really missed playing on this court because it's a great court. It's slow, which I liked in my career. And I'd also like to thank the sponsors, you know, Matrix and Alesse, Crystal Light, because this tournament wouldn't be possible without them. And finally, congratulate the winner and the runner-up. Conchita had a great tournament, reaching the finals. And Monica, well, I think you all can see why she's #1 in the world. She's just a great player. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the president of Alesse, George Ackerman.
Thank you all very much. This was a great afternoon of tennis. It's been a marvelous week for us here in the desert. And after many, many years with Chris as a player, it's really a privilege for us at Alesse to participate with her as she has her own tournament here in the desert. It's just, God lives here. It's a wonderful place to be. And we've really enjoyed it and hope to come back soon. I guess it's my opportunity now to ask Conchita to come out, who really, I know today didn't turn out the way you really wanted it to turn out. But wasn't she fabulous? Chris has the trophy.
It's very heavy. Congratulations. You had a great tournament.
You had a great tournament. It's been a great week, and this will help you get to Boca, I guess, next week. Here's $28,000. Thank you very much. You were terrific. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank all the sponsors, Matrix, Alesse, Crystal Light, and Graph. I would like to thank my coach because he's helping me a lot, and I would like to thank you all because you were fantastic. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you.
And now for the presentation to our champion is the chairman and founder of Matrix Essentials, Arnie Miller, and his executive vice president, Seles Miller.
Thanks, Barbara. I have to confess, this is the first time I've ever been and spent any time in this part of the desert. And it is a wonderful place. And the people here have been wonderful to Matrix. And I have to thank all the people who have been here all week long, and the players, especially the players too, who took advantage of some of our services. On behalf of the hairdressers, on behalf of everybody that participated in this, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. For our first time ever as a title sponsor of a tournament, it just couldn't have been better. And the play that we just saw on the court was unbelievable. And I would like to ask Monica, who is and deserves to be number one, who is just incredible, to please come out here and accept this accept this check. Let's hear it for Monica. And as usual, I'm not trusted with the money. Seles has an envelope for you.
Monica, I'd like to present you with the check as the winner of the match for $70,000.
Thank you.
This is what carrying an 18-pound baby. You're the best. Congratulations.
Okay. It's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy trophy. Oh, sorry. First of all, I would like to thank all the people who came out this whole week. It's been a great tournament. It's my first time here, and I had a wonderful time. I'm looking forward to coming back here next year again. I would like to thank all the sponsors, Matrix Essentials, Crystal Light, Alesse, and the Los Angeles Times, and Kraft World Tour. Without them, this tournament would not be possible. It's a wonderful honor to be playing. I mean, Chris, to be named the tournament after you. Congratulations for it. I got to see Chris's little boy, Alex. It's beautiful. I would like to thank my family here for being with me the whole week here. Once again, I hope to see you all next year. I had a wonderful time. I can't wait till next March comes. Thank you.
So Monica Seles, who handles herself so very well, doesn't she, has won here today in straight sets over Conchita Martinez, the number 8 player in the world. She's from Spain. She won it easily 6-3, 6-1. We'll be back with more, and we'll talk again with Chris Evert when we come back.